from California.
Checking in from the left coast where we take sound that combines sunshine with rhyme, move 'em around. Take it slow, watch the smoke we blow.
Welcome to the Double I Show. I'm Sweet Tea, and with me as always,
R.W. King.
Hey King, what the hell is up? It is a Friday night. It is a beautiful day. I hope that you are staying safe, sheltered at home. How the hell are you tonight there, King?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, man. It seems like I got some jumbo jets flying over me right now. You know, they're at the airport over here, man. So it's just like perfect timing once the show starts. But hey, man, yeah, just glad to be around still. You know, looks like we're making some progress towards getting back a little bit of things opened up. So, you know, it's a positive day. You know, there's some good things going on, and just happy to be here, T.
Well, speaking of the jumbo jet flying over you, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a couple flyovers this week. I think one yesterday, and there was one today by the Air Force. And I don't know if you got to see it or if you saw any of the news or not, but it was kind of cool. They were kind of doing the flyovers of the hospitals to be able to show their support and appreciation for first responders and nurses and doctors and all that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, actually, I went outside of work today. Because one of my boys, you know, shout out to my boy, told me, hey, man, they're going to have the flyover right now. And
right.
So I went outside looking for it, and we didn't see it. So we waited a few extra minutes, and we don't know if we just didn't have a good vantage point or whatever. But we would have heard them or seen them, so we don't know what was going on. So just went back inside, didn't really hear anything about it after. But, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great thing that they did, and I just wish everyone could see it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I saw on social media there was people posting saying, did I miss it? I didn't see anything. And I think I'm not sure entirely, but they may have altered their flight pattern. So it wasn't where people thought that it should be or where it was going to go. But it did go over the cities and the key areas that they said. I think they just altered their pattern a little bit. So not everybody got to see it, unfortunately, because I didn't.
Well, like I said before, I figured the most important part was to go over downtown LA.
Yeah.
And I'm really right by downtown LA. So we were thinking, fuck, we're going to see him at some point. You know what I mean? Because you would, you know, we can see the jets flying the LAX far away.
Right.
So it was like we're going to see him or hear him, you know. So
I know
that didn't happen. But
I know they did because I saw some pictures and everything. So I know that they did fly. I know that it did happen. I didn't see it personally, you know.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Yeah. So. How's everything else going? I mean, you know, you mentioned, you know, things are opening up and there's a lot of positivity going on. You know, have you been out? Have you been? I know some of the restaurants are kind of opening up a little bit, not total dine in like some states, but you know, it's loosening a little bit and people are out and about more.
Well, I think they're more out and about, and I think what I'm seeing more, and I don't know about you on your side, but over here I'm seeing a lot more people without masks. Yeah. And it's starting to a little bit bother me still a little bit. I mean, still that's the control. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you open things up, but it just keeps some of the controls in place. That's always my thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even like next year or whatever, when there is a vaccine, I think that, you know, like we talked about, certain things won't change. I think that there's going to be a lot of people wearing masks at football games and things like that, man. You know what I mean?
It's just smart. It's not a bad thing. I don't understand how people say, oh, this is restricting my freedom and this and that. No, guys, it's just smart. Let's just be safe, you know, and there's a lot, I don't know if you heard, but there's a lot of people that are mask shaming both online and in person too. So that's kind of turned into a big deal now. It's kind of like bullying people that do wear masks and people that don't wear masks. I read an article that Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? You remember Stone Cold from the WWE? Yeah, dude. Did you hear about that? He was doing like a...
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did. You know?
He went off on the dude.
Well, yeah, okay. But, dude, we said this so many times. There's so many people out there, and everybody's heightened right now. All their nerves are frayed. Everything is just so sensitive to certain people. And, yeah, you're going to get those reactions from a few.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
But Stone Cold he was wearing a mask and this guy shaming him saying, why are you wearing a mask? And it's like,
right. Exactly. I know that. I know the story. I understand, right? And we're saying that. But there's people, like I said, T, that are just different thinkers.
Oh,
and they're not thinking with a full deck. So yeah, it's sort of like thinking, okay, man, I'm having this argument with a fourth grader. I mean, think about that logically as you're an adult.
Right.
Because that's really the mentality that these people have. So who's really at fault for this argument at this point?
Yeah, it's up to somebody with a higher intelligence to be able to kind of mitigate the situation. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be bigger than the situation, man.
Yeah.
Come on, understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the reality is if you shame that dude enough and you make him feel belittled enough, now it's just going to come to blows. You know what I mean? And you don't want that anyway.
I would love to see that, dude. Stone Cold would have rocked them. That would have been great. That would
no. What you don't want to see, dog, is a guy that you always think like some badass or whatever else get knocked the fuck out by some little dude. That's what you don't ever want to see, bro, because it'll fuck us up.
That's
you know what I mean. Think about it.
That's true, but I don't
think about it.
I don't see Steve Austin as one of those guys. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, dog. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, and even if the guy gets the lucky punch in, dog, you're just like, dang, Stone Cold.
What was the guy's name again from the MMA? He was kind of crazy. I mean, he was such a badass, and he passed away already. I think he had a heart condition or something like that, and he passed away. But before that, he fought a dude that only had like 2 or 3 days to prep because the main guy just kind of had to like broken arm or something like that. He couldn't fight, and the small little dude that came into the ring with him knocked him out. Who was the guy? He was a street fighter. He was a street fighter, and then
I don't remember.
Oh man, but that's that. I was trying to.
Well, I'm thinking the guy that you're thinking died is probably Kimbo Slice, but I sort of know Kimbo. Yeah, but Kimbo didn't fight in those type of setups, dude.
What do you mean?
He fought only like 3 big fights.
I remember though.
You know what I mean?
Knocked out by a dude that only had a couple days.
Well, yeah, but the dude wasn't smaller than him because he was still a heavyweight. You know what I mean? So he might have been smaller than him, but he was still over 200 and some pounds.
Well, yeah.
Kimbo was a big dude.
A big dude. Yeah, he was just
Yeah, but the problem with Kimbo is, he didn't have any cardio, dude. If he didn't knock you out in the first minute, you had a shot.
Right.
Because he was a backyard brawler. Look him up on YouTube, dude, and watch his YouTube.
Oh, yeah, those things.
I mean, these guys were fucking and they were just going straight up fist. You know what I mean? And they would do it for cash.
And it doesn't.
And these big old badass dudes would try to go over there, with Kimbo, and he just rock them, dude. He hit them and bust them open, and they just don't want no more.
Yeah, 30, 40 seconds.
His power, and they're like, yeah.
He couldn't last beyond.
So he wasn't exerting himself, and that's what he should have worked on was his cardio. Because if he could hit someone, he's like Brock Lesnar. Right. They had to make a special glove for Brock Lesnar's hand. His mitts were so big. So imagine how big his fist was.
Right.
To take up half your head. So he's swinging with a lot of power, too. So same thing with Kimbo. They didn't train him right. Get his cardio good and just get on the top. Teach him a little bit of wrestling and let him pound somebody. Right. Like Lesnar.
Yeah.
Lesnar had a wrestling background, though. Lesnar was a little bit different.
That's true. Because he was in the WWE.
So, and speaking of that, man, the UFC went off. No issues. Right? Went off pretty good. They had another one on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 days after in the same facility. Nobody's really moving. They're all isolated over there. They have another one tomorrow. Because we're recording on Friday night. So they have another one on Saturday. 3 shows in like 7 days.
Right.
And they're pulling them off, see? And here's a thing, too, little stat for you. So can you tell me, Sweet Tea, I'm going to throw a trivia question to you. Are you ready?
No. Go ahead.
Is your thinking cap on?
As much as I can fit it on.
What is the highest grossing pay-per-view? Really, fights are the only thing that are pay-per-view. So I was going to say sporting event, but I'll say fight ever of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Tyson Holyfield?
No, I'm not even close.
No? Okay. I figured I remember back in the day that was huge. So I don't know.
Okay, I'm not going to embarrass myself because I will say I've partaken in some adult beverages tonight.
Okay.
And I don't want to throw it out, but it was a Conor McGregor fight. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was when he fought Nick Diaz.
Really?
Right? Yeah, 1.2 million views.
Wow.
Right, something like that.
Now, my second guess was going to be Conor and Mayweather because that was pretty big.
That was number 2 at 1 million views.
Yeah, that was huge. I remember that.
Or maybe it was flip-flop because of the adult beverage, but they were both Conor McGregor.
Both were Conor.
The pay-per-view last Saturday, 700,000 plus. They really haven't really got the total count yet. It'll be under 800,000, but it's probably going to be about 710, 712. It's going to be the third highest all time. Think of that.
Now, do you think, though, that it didn't crack the top 2 for a reason? I mean, considering what we've been talking about, it's the only game in town really right now. Don't you think it should have had a better shot at cracking the top, at least maybe even being number 1?
I think that if you look back at the other 2 fights we talked about, they weren't in the format of the pay-per-view that this one is now. And it makes it more difficult. And I'm going to say this for myself, for the seasoned viewer, the person who isn't as tech savvy, to download an app, ESPN Plus, sign up for the app, and stream that stuff to your TV. And that's the only way you could get this pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of the new exclusive thing with the UFC the last couple of years.
Right.
All the pay-per-views for the UFC are on ESPN Plus. And if you don't have a TV that streams, are you going to pay $70 to watch a fight on your phone or your laptop?
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah. Chances are you're not.
Right. So the seasoned viewer, and I'll say I'm probably in that group, TV, because I was trying to figure out how much it would cost me to buy a TV, get signed up for the ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you were.
Or am I going to go Chromecast? Exactly. So it just wasn't worth it, man. You know what I mean? I was like, it's just not going to be worth it, you know? The chances of, it was a good card. Every fight was great. But it was like, man, for every fight to pan out for the hype, that's the only way it would be worth it to me. And that's just not going to happen. So I didn't do it. And the fights were good. I heard they were all good. So.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance.
I don't know, man. I think that's, to me, I think that's the main reason. Think about it. Before in those other 2 fights, all you had to do was press OK on your button on your remote.
Yeah.
For your cable provider.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. I did.
You know?
I bought the Conor McGregor fight against him and Mayweather. And it was just easy as that, you know? You go to the thing and hit OK and boom, you got it. There it is. So it's not the same. You're right, though. I think it's kind of like when you have the NFL on DirecTV as opposed to
the Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, the Sunday Ticket, and everybody else. Nobody can see the Sunday Ticket. They can get what is it? The what's the one that you get?
The Red Zone.
The Red Zone. Thank you. So you get the Red Zone on all the other networks, but you don't get the full Sunday Ticket. So I think it's kind of similar to that, where, you know, it's exclusive and nobody else can see it unless you pay. Just like nobody outside of Spectrum could see Dodger games locally. And now DirecTV finally struck a deal with them. So now DirecTV will be covering Dodger games if and when that resumes.
Yeah, exactly. And look at them, how pissed off they are, dude. Because
Right,
there's a big signing bonus.
Well,
so they had to pay the signing bonus.
Yeah, they finally caved, and then this hits. So there's that. But I mean, it's the same thing. Why would you, other than just getting the money up front, that right? Because I'm assuming they got a huge contract to be able to do it on ESPN Plus. But other than that, don't you think long term that they could have made more money in traditional pay-per-view as opposed to a exclusive deal that they signed, or similar to an exclusive deal like the ESPN deal. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't, but it's just a greed factor at that point, right? Because money's split differently, right? So if there's, you're counting pay-per-views, not amount of money going directly to the source. And Disney is a big partner with the UFC. So
Financially,
it's all Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, all those. ESPN's a big partner who's owned by Disney. So it's the marriage, man. They want all the money. So they got in reality, probably they got more of that pie than anybody else has ever got, probably. Because that 1.2 million views probably didn't come out to the same amount of money going to one source. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they probably grossed or netted more money than anybody else. I could probably say that, you know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't think about that, but yeah, it makes perfect sense. You're right. They are partners, and more of that ticket goes directly to their pockets, no matter what.
Because in the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight, tell me if I'm wrong, if I don't remember this correctly, is they got a piece of the pay-per-view.
Correct.
Both of them did.
Both of them did.
Because,
But Mayweather got a huge piece of it compared to Conor. But still, I think it was Mayweather that said he had never fought a guy that was as good at promoting as he was. And he said Conor promoted the shit out of the fight and made it super successful. And that's why he said he would fight him again any day, because no other fight that he's had was able to promote the way that he promotes until he went up with Conor. So, I mean, it's all about money,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about self-promotion.
I mean, those guys were putting on a show. They were just putting on a show anyway. It was a spot. Yeah, it was a spot. It was that event was no different than WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Because, nothing was really going to happen. They were going to get tired. That was it. Conor McGregor was going to get tired. That's it.
After that third round, he was done. His nut was busted.
Yeah, but he lasted a while, man.
Oh, he did. But I mean, his punches were just weak after that. After the third round, he just didn't have the stamina. He's just not used to it. It's a different type of conditioning.
Not just that, man. Is he can't fight with gloves on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
a different power with a guy who's wearing a little piece of leather on his hand compared to that big old glove with the padding.
Right. And the weight of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the weight there, it's not the matter. Yeah, it's not the matter of the weight, it's the cushion. Well, there's cushion on those boxing gloves. Correct. And that's why, that's why you said it's depending on the weight, but they had pretty heavy boxing gloves. It wasn't like they had little small ones.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That extra weight on his arms too weighs down his arms, and he's not used to that conditioning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that because he probably had to train with that stuff, but I'm just thinking he couldn't have the effect. He wouldn't be able to punch with the same power. You know what I mean? His power comes from hitting his, square on his knuckles and stuff. So I don't know, but yeah, whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Things are opening up on my side of town. I was told that all the street sweepers and the citations for parking and stuff are going to come into effect next week. And I'm thinking, okay, but not everybody's going back to work.
No, there's still a lot of people working from home.
Yeah. So, and there's not enough parking in my place anyway, man. You know that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't leave at night once I get a parking. I'm like, fuck that. I don't move, dude. If I'm hungry, I got to go to Uber Eats and shit. I got to make sure I can do all my stops before I get home.
I think I went to go visit you one time, and what was it? Like just 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes after I pulled out, there was already another car that pulled into where I was. Because you were out there and you told me, as soon as you pulled away, there was another car right there right away. Like
it's like they smell it, dude.
Yeah, it's
same with me. If I say fuck, like it's 11 o'clock, dude, I'm gonna run over to the Mickey D's or something. or the Fabulous Burger or something. Shout out to my Fabulous Burger over here. And I'm going to take off real quick. Dude, I swear I'm not even gone 10 minutes. I come back, someone's parked in there. You're kidding me.
Yeah. See, now I know exactly what to get you for Christmas. I'm going to get you one of those little electric scooters so you can just take off down the block and you go grab your Fabulous Burger and make it back. Don't have to get.
I can't go in the drive-thru with one of those things, dog.
Why not? It's a scooter. Remember,
drive-thru's only open right now.
Well, by the time Christmas rolls around, they might be open again.
Well, come on, dude. By the time Christmas comes around, come on, man. You hook me up sooner than that.
Okay. Shit. What do you think I am? Made of money?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, if you're throwing it out there, dog, you know what I mean?
Those things are like $4.
400?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like 4Gs. I was going to say like, dang, dog, you're going to give me a good one with the fat boy tires on it. I've seen those, dude.
I'm going to have to get
That's the one I want, dog. Yeah, fuck yeah, dog.
Well,
that's the one I want, dude.
You are going to be going to a burger joint a lot, so you're going to be packing on the pounds, right?
Dude, there's a meat shortage right now, man. We got to be careful, dude. So, fuck, my burger places are fucking rationing, dude. That ain't right.
So that's okay. Now that is very odd. Okay. Because I know there's this burger shortage or a meat shortage period. And I keep hearing all these stories, but locally over here, I haven't seen that because just tonight for dinner, we had the Habit hamburger. No problem. We ordered the double cheeseburgers. We ordered a bacon cheeseburger. I mean, no issue. And that place is packed because it just opened up right when the COVID hit. It had just opened up and it's been drive-through only. And that drive-through is packed every night. And they're not turning away people. There's no signage about, hey, we only have chicken today. None of that. And
you know about the secret menu?
No. They got a secret menu?
Yeah, dog. But they pub sort of it now because I think you can get the Santa Barbara style even on the menu. But that used to be part of it. There's some other stuff they do to the fries, like Santa Barbara fries or something, because that's where it was originated, up at Santa Barbara.
Really?
Yeah. So look it up on Google one of these days before you go and see if you like any of that stuff. But the Santa Barbara style is like on grilled Parmesan sourdough.
Really? I got to try that.
Oh, dog.
Game changer?
Oof. Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm learning all these little tricks, dude.
Well,
shout out to my server at the Starbucks, dude. She hooked me up with a new gig, dude.
Which one's that?
Now, okay, so I only get one drink there, and she sees me like when I was going for my teeth, right?
Right.
I told you the story last week about my teeth. So, all right, long story short, I got a tooth extracted, so I still need some help cooling that shit down in there.
Right.
So I've been going. And you're not supposed to suck out of a straw. So I didn't for a few days, but I needed it. So I went and she's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a few days. Yeah, venti, green tea frap with soy, light whip. She's like, I've been meaning to tell you what. I did something for my dad once because he gets the same thing. And and she said the same thing that you said. It's a game changer. That's why when you said that, it triggered me.
A trigger warning?
And I said, what is it? No, you changed the sweetener, the regular sweetener, to toffee nut sweetener, and it tastes like fucking pistachio.
Really?
Oh, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. I was really? I was the worst thing that ever happened to me, dude. I'm like, I don't need it right now. I'm sort of over my stuff. And I keep looking at those lines in Starbucks wanting to go in there. Just jump in, you can get in there. You'll be out in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But that thing was good.
Okay, I'm so going back and trying that then. I love pistachio.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it does. It tastes like a freaking pistachio, dude.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my gosh, dude. And not just that, I think the visual with the green, because the matcha green tea or whatever that shit is.
Yeah, so it even looks pistachio-ish.
Yeah, it's like a smoothie. You know how those Frappuccino things are. So it's just like, oh my gosh.
It's blended.
Dude. Yeah, with ice. Yeah, so good. Anyway, yeah, that's my toonie, my yuppie moment. All right. What else is going on, man? Anything else going on in the world? Here's some crazy shit going on. There's other news going on.
There's tons of crazy
other than the COVID stuff.
Well, okay.
You know?
So before we get into that crazy news, I just want to give a shout out real fast to somebody. I got to give a shout out to Big A. Okay. Because Big A, that episode with that interview has been blowing up like crazy. It's getting shared all over social media. It's crazy. And in true humble fashion, this guy, I sent him a text. I was like, hey man, we're looking at the stats. This thing is just going crazy. And I got to say, he was still humble. He's like, I don't understand why. He goes, I don't get it. He goes, I'm just an average guy doing an average thing, but thank you. He goes, it feels weird. And I mean, just that humbleness was just kind of awesome that he still, no matter what, it doesn't register with him. So big shout out.
I think that's what makes him. Yeah. That's what makes him what he is.
Yeah.
And that's why he's doing what he is. He's not doing it for any accolade or anybody to even notice him. He's doing it because he cares, because he wants to make a difference, because he feels like he said that was his upbringing.
Right.
Right. I mean, you heard the interview. You did the interview.
Yeah.
Right. So I listened to it also. And that was his upbringing, dude. So that's how he was taught. He's not thinking of anything else. He's not thinking he's doing anything out of the normal, because in his mind, shouldn't everyone be doing this?
Right.
And he's right.
He's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what everyone had to take from that. Not necessarily the words he was saying, but what his spirit was and how he got there. Right? That's the thing to me.
But that's what I'm saying. Just in true fashion of him being him, even just me texting him. And just a quick update for everybody, if you've already heard the interview, he is coming back. He's coming back this weekend. He's gotten everything packed up and he's trying to make all his flight arrangements. He got hooked up with JetBlue. We're not sponsored by them, but big shout out to them because they are giving free flights to frontline workers, that's amazing, and, so he's coming back this weekend. He's happy to come back. So at some point, maybe
is he going to have to get quarantined when he gets back to you?
That I don't know. He wasn't sure 100% yet. But he probably will do some type of self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, because I know his wife's a healthcare worker too.
And she's actually very frontline because she's part of the emergency response team. And so they're the ones that do the rapid response stuff within. So like if somebody codes or they're having some kind of issue, whether they have COVID or not, and they don't even they can't stop and ask questions. They got to just go and save the person. So
but they're already taking all the precautions. It doesn't matter. Correct. You know what I mean? Because they don't know right now.
Correct.
So, think about it. Obviously we had someone in our family that was sick and, they're getting through some things still and they're going to be fine. And we know that, but it's imagine how it was when we were in there. It looked like a hospital. I'm sure it doesn't look like that now.
No.
I'm sure it looks like something out of some kind of triage center where everything's isolated and everything's closed off. And it probably looks really weird.
Tons of stuff probably wrapped in plastic and things like that. You won't recognize it, I'm sure. Yeah. To your point.
Right.
Yeah. So no, I just wanted, before we get started into the other news, I just wanted to share that with everybody. Big A, that interview was insane. It's popping. It's being spread throughout social media and it's just great. I'm glad that show or that interview, it has just taken off because it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy as far as the interview is concerned. So big shout out to him. And I can't wait to get that guy back over here. We need him over here.
No, and same for me, from the bottom of my heart to Big A, to all the people out there trying to make this thing better and help those that are affected. Hey, I truly appreciate you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel the same and wish they could tell you themselves. So thank you very much.
Yep, absolutely. So, King, going into other news, there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. I don't know if you heard about this, but this week, a hacker group has claimed that they hacked a celebrity law firm. Now, this law firm handles tons and tons of celebrities, right? Madonna, Lizzo,
Lady Gaga.
Yeah. So
she's the headliner on
she's
this
the
thing,
big
dog.
one. Yeah, because she's like
What do you think she did that's so fucking bad, dude?
I don't think it's her in particular. I think it's because.
Okay, sorry, dude. Sorry, man. I'm getting ahead of myself. Dude, go ahead and keep going and frame this thing up. Sorry, man. I just got ahead of myself.
That's okay.
Dude.
That's all right. So they hacked this law firm, and they told them we're demanding $21 million, or else we're going to start releasing everything. Now the law firm at first balked on it, said, "Nah, you guys didn't really hack us." So then they had their own cybersecurity team look, and they're like, "Yeah, you got hacked." So next thing you know, they hired some cybersecurity forensics people to be able to try to find the hackers. The hackers found out, got pissed, and then the FBI got involved because it is considered cyber terrorism. And now the law firm's saying, we don't deal with terrorism, so we're not going to pay you. Fuck you. And the FBI is like, we're going to go after these guys. Don't worry, we got this. Well, these guys said, oh, now we're doubling the price. Instead of 21 million, it's 42 now. And just so you know that we're not playing around, they started to release some things. They released some stuff for Lady Gaga. They released, it's boilerplate type of stuff, agreements between her and some of the dancers, her and some of her backup singers, some of the stuff that she does on tour, what she's paying certain people, Lizzo, just kind of boilerplate NDA type things. So nothing really controversial right now. But here's the kicker. They're claiming that they have some stuff on President Trump. And they're saying, look, this guy, after everything, you are not going, if we release this, you are not going to want this guy as your president. That's how much dirt we have on him. Now, the law firm came out and said, we never represented Trump. But that's not it, King. There's got to be dirt from one of their clients that was involved in some type of litigation with President Trump. Because that guy sues everybody for everything. So there's got to, if they're claiming that dirt, and they've already been releasing stuff showing the world, yeah, we got stuff. We did hack and we did get in. I don't know. That's going to be interesting because the little boilerplate type stuff, nobody's really interested in that. But this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what they got. That's the thing. What do you think they got?
They got to have some nasty, dirty shit on him. Come on, dude.
Like what? No, not on him. Maybe just think anybody.
So,
it's, I don't think they can just hold it and say, okay, this is that because of Trump.
Well, that's part of it. They did come out and say that. That was part of it.
No, I know, but that's part of their leverage. But they hacked everybody.
Right.
So thinking of that, just thinking of all these other people you talk, like what could be dirty on them? Just like things they settled out of court.
So Trump was the icing on the cake, right? That was like the bonus because that's not, to your point, that's not what they went in there for. They just figured, okay, we're going to find all kinds of dirt on all these celebrities that hired this law firm. They got to have stuff on everybody. All these lawsuits that all these celebrities are involved with, baby mamas, divorces. Think about that. Think about all the dirty laundry that, gets settled that we don't hear about, that's not open to the public because they agree not to, put that out there into the public, right? It's part of the agreements. They can't divulge anything. So think about what they got. They got to have stuff like that, like on divorces, all this shit, irreconcilable differences. Our boy Jay Cutler, we're Bears fans, right? Jay Cutler's right now going through a divorce. His old lady's coming out just slamming him on social media, airing out dirty laundry. He's not saying nothing. I bet you there's stuff like that, but 10 times worse that these hackers have on all these other celebrities.
And I'm sure they do. You know what I mean? That's my point. But there's so many things that we can say in general, but have you heard of anything specifically or anything like that tied to any of these people?
Not yet.
You could, throwing those general statements out, and I'm sure the people in the law firm and the partners and all those guys know exactly what they had in there.
Yeah, they know.
Right. So,
but here's the thing, right? So, and here's the problem when you get hacked and you're dealing with one of those pay me or else type of situations. It's a double-edged sword because let's say you don't pay them. Well, they can release it, right? All of a sudden you're screwed and your whole law firm, your reputation, everything is screwed, right? And your clients and their reputation, everything screwed. But then let's say you do pay them. Now you're paying them and you have to trust them. You are entrusting them to delete all the material that they said that they would delete. Do you really think they're going to delete that?
Well, that's the point. That's to me. Yeah, you can't do it because there's no way they're going to get rid of it. Somewhere, somehow, there's another copy somewhere.
Well,
so they've already fucked you.
Yeah, think about this. They get payment and then they turn around, they flip around and they start going after the celebrities individually and trying to extort them too. Right? Look, I got to.
Why not be smart, right? See, to me, right, it's not even that, because now you're doing something like that. You're just allowing them to track you more. Just get out of Dodge. 10 years. Do it again. Be somebody else.
Yeah.
They're smart enough to do that. Just come out and somebody else. Look, we got all this stuff now. We got copies of it. Right? I don't know the relevance 10 years from now or whatever, but hey, if you did it once, you might do it again. So
if you get away with it once, you might get away with it again. Yeah, you're right.
And that's the smart guys. You know, they don't sit there and keep doing things, you know, day after day. They make sure they give it time because they want it to settle down. You know?
It's crazy. I don't know. It just started hitting today, all this stuff. So it's going to be interesting. The next few days, the way that it unfolds is going to be very interesting. I don't know. I almost want some more to leak just so I can see what the hell else is that they got, you know, on these people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody does, you know, that's what it is now. Everyone's just sort of waiting with bated breath, right? To see who's going to get fucking popped first. And they're going to throw something out that would be the sacrificial lamb. You know what I mean?
I wonder which celebrity is kind of, I don't know, twisting in the wind right now going, fuck, because of all the things that they got. You know, you're going to have some.
Hey, dude, I watch Ray Donovan. I know what happens to these celebrities, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Ray Donovan's my man.
You need a fixer.
Exactly.
And maybe they hire a fixer. Who knows? But, man.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, call Ray Donovan, bro. He'll fucking square this shit away, dude. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what? Well, I didn't even think about that. T. Fuck, they just call Ray Donovan. He'll hook this shit up, dude. He'll take care of it.
It's crazy. I don't know. I want to see what's going on and what the next few days are going to be. So by the time we record our next episode, we got to have some type of update. There's got to be, this stuff is going to get juicy. This is better than a damn soap opera.
No, it should be.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, but you think at some point, the longer it holds on, the better chance they have to catch these guys, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they're going to have to start publishing shit to make these guys fucking pay up.
Oh, they got to scare them. So this stuff's going to start slowly leaking out because they got to scare them enough to be able to say, okay, these guys are serious. We just got to do it.
Yeah, we got to do it because in reality, that 42 million now or whatever isn't really anything compared to the money we get from these people.
Right. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. And they should have already thought that with 21. You know, but these greedy fuckers, you know, but the principle, I agree.
Yeah.
You don't want to be held hostage. You don't want to do, yeah, correct.
Yeah. They're cyber terrorists. So they're like, we won't be held, you know. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, King. I don't know, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for this. The other shoe's going to drop soon.
Well, I agree. They're going to have to show something else. They have to show part of their hand.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, you know, all these things going on, T, let's just sort of distract ourselves a little bit and get away from all this COVID discussion, man. Let's talk about some sports, man. A lot of shit going off right now.
Holy shit.
You hear this big thing right now. I mean, a lot of shit, right?
Holy shit. This is crazy. For there not being
right. So,
sports, it's popping.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the last episode and even the episode before that where I made comments about players, and we were talking about NFL players specifically, but being tied in their houses for so long, shit was going to get going crazy. You made a comment about these guys love to party. I think all athletes do because they got money. You know, it doesn't really matter what they are, but NFL guys are historically for getting in trouble because they can't control themselves, it seems like. And did you hear the story about the two cornerbacks, bro? The two defensive backs?
Dunbar and Baker?
Oh, my gosh,
Holy
man.
Shit, man.
These guys got warrants out for their arrest for a robbery, for assault with a deadly weapon, you name it, dude. What are these guys thinking, T?
Well,
did you read the whole story that they're saying like they lost money gambling to these guys before?
Yeah.
Like earlier in the week.
Yeah.
$700,000 they're reporting these guys lost.
Now, there has been a little bit of an update today. Was apparently Dunbar has been cleared on all 4 counts of armed robbery with a firearm. Or was it Dunbar? I think it was. That was cleared. One of them was cleared. Yeah, I think it was Dunbar by eyewitnesses. They gave affidavit statements saying that he wasn't involved. So right now it stands as only Baker that I'm hearing. But dude, what the hell are these guys thinking, man?
He just snapped, bro.
But
it's like we talk about, it's that threshold, right? It's those events. So whatever was going on in his life, and I don't think it was probably just that. It might have been part that he lost money he couldn't have afforded to lose. Something like that. Or there's something going on, baby mama drama. I don't know, dude. But that on top of that, on top of that, on top of that, snap-a-roo, right?
Yeah. I think
that's really what happens with these guys because they don't know how to get rid of those stresses and deal with those stresses. And when you compound them like that, right, these guys sort of snap. That's the only thing I could think, right?
But why are you at a party? Because apparently they were at a party and they were gambling and playing video games. Why?
Right, I read that part. What
are you doing? I mean, I know we wanted to get off COVID, but seriously, what do you think?
Okay, so we talked about that, right? And here's the mentality, right? Well, there's less than 20 people there.
You have to have less than 10, I think, is what the range is, right?
Whatever. They're going to make their own rules anyway.
Well, that's true.
But as I'm saying, is there's an acceptance in their mentality. There's a justification of what they're doing.
Okay.
So they've justified already, or they just don't give a shit.
Okay, but now
they're healthy enough. I'm going to be fine if I get it.
This ties into the argument that I was saying when it comes to the NFL last week when we were talking. You can't control what these guys do when they leave the facility. So how do you trust, as being a teammate or even being management within the organization, that these guys are going to leave and do the right thing and not get COVID and come back with that shit and spread it throughout the entire clubhouse?
Oh, I agree with you then. I agree with you now. Nothing you're saying. I don't agree with you. It's not just the NFL though. It's in the MLB. It's in all everywhere. These other ones too.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's everywhere.
Because there's just example. These guys. Yeah.
And then on top of it, they fucking rob people. What the hell? I get it. You lost 70 grand, but really, you shouldn't be gambling what you can't afford to lose in the first place. If you do, then
but they took it. They got a Rolex and they got a $25,000 Hublot. I like those Hublot watches.
I know you do. You always talk about
I know, man. I know, man. But I'm just saying, so. Hey.
I don't know, man. I don't get it, man. I mean, I guess you could take the boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the boy, right? I mean,
it always seems like that, right? At some point, right?
Both of them grew up in Miami.
I mean, look, we just a couple weeks ago we were talking about CJ2K, right? Chris Johnson, wasn't it him who got popped? Yeah, so come on, dude. Yeah. No. He got busted for the drug trafficking.
Oh, that was the drug trafficking. Yeah, you're right.
For hiring the guy that murdered his friend.
Yeah.
For killing the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
and that was all.
No, and last week was Earl Thomas, his old lady, fucking putting a gun to his head.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
not looking good for the NFL right now.
The optics look really bad for the NFL. I think they need to get these guys back on the field sooner rather than later, because at least then there's a distraction and they can kind of.
There is, and that's what I talked about last week, dude. That there's so many things happening that we haven't heard of, and now there's just so many of them happening. They just can't keep them all quiet.
Right.
That's really what's going on.
Well, apparently, I think this happened a little bit. It didn't happen just now. All these warrants and everything are now, but this happened right before the draft because supposedly the Giants kind of caught wind of it a little bit, and that's why they drafted somebody because they understood that there were some issues with Baker. So I don't know, man.
Oh, I don't know. The article I read, I thought that they said that all this shit happened on Wednesday. I read it today or something.
The warrants came down Wednesday, but these guys, they knew this stuff happened.
Maybe I misread it then, and that's why. See that? And here we go again with the media spin. They throw shit out like that. Regular guys like me and you reading through this thing pretty quick. Oh, this shit just happened, dog.
Right.
That's how they want it to feel anyway. It's the latest news.
Right.
It's not something that happened a month ago.
But I mean, if the Giants are drafting because of that, to replace Baker, come on, they knew. It's just like you said. You were saying the same thing, that these teams cover this up and it's just something that they can't cover completely. And so it eventually comes out. And that's what's happening right now. It eventually comes out because it went public. But the Giants said, apparently the Giants saw what they quote unquote red flags, which sparked a draft battle. So they knew this shit was going down. They're not stupid. This NFL organizations, they're not dumb. Yeah,
I mean, the NFL is what it is, and they're still trucking along. They've posted their schedule. They put it out. They got teams popping their new unis because they're requiring everyone to change up their uni this year a little bit. They do that every so often. And teams are putting those out already and things like that. So, I mean, the NFL's still going forward. And like I said, they'll keep going forward until there is no forward anymore, and then they'll make adjustments. You know what I mean? And that's how they do it. When they realize they can't go status quo, then they'll figure out what they got to do. I've heard from a very good source of mine that we're probably looking at an October date to start.
Which isn't bad. It's not that far off from.
It's fucking horrible, T. The fuck you mean it isn't bad? It's fucking horrible.
Come on.
Fuck, dog. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Dude, stop. I'm dying over here,
I know you're dying, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, It's not the end of the world like that. I mean, come on.
Look, dude, I understand all the disease shit, everything. Don't fuck with my sports, man. Just don't do it.
Well,
what the fuck is
right
that?
Now they're still trying to figure out protocol on how they're going to be able to handle it and figuring out the logistics of everything, game to game with not just with the players, but you got to think of all the staff that's involved. You got to think of, even if there's no fans, the media crews that have to be there with the cameramen, the sideline officials, all that stuff. There's a lot of protocol that needs to happen. So they're still probably trying to scramble to figure that out. Right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes and no. They probably already know what they can do. And they probably know what they have to do. It's a point of, are they allowed to do it? Are the states going to be open? California is the one that's fucking them up.
Well, okay.
You know what I mean? So
I know it's not the NFL, but I just saw today that tomorrow the Lakers are opening up their practice facilities, and 20 something teams, 27 teams, I think I heard was they were doing the same in the NBA. They're opening up their practice facilities already. They're cleared to open up their practice facilities by the states. So if the NBA is starting to be able to go back a little bit, the NFL is going to be doing the same thing. And I heard that they've already announced they're still doing, what do they call, virtual workouts, or, but they're going to be.
Oh, they've been doing that already. Yeah.
They're going to continue that. I saw that too, that they're going to be continuing that. But then I heard that they're working on plans to start slowly bringing in the players and doing, live workouts with the players again. So I don't know. I think you're right. They already know what protocol that they have to do. It's a matter of implementation and making sure that you have everything logistically, because that's a pain in the ass too. Right? It's like, oh, I know what I need to do, but I got to get the resources to be able to do it too.
No, I mean, you're right. Exactly. But I think that they already got that part squared away. All those things you talked about, they've already discussed them 100 different ways up and down. That's not the issue, right? It's sort of like, you talked about the states opening up. It's a fairness. Are they going to have an opportunity to move teams to a state or a location that'll be fair enough to say, okay, let's start this thing on time? That's really what it is, because there'll be enough states nearby that are opened up.
True.
Are you taking that revenue away? Are you doing those things? They've looked at this thing a million ways up and down.
Yeah.
And they already know the contingencies. They know what they can do. They have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F, all the way through the fucking alphabet. And then double it. So, yeah, that part to me is irrelevant. It's the fact of what are they going to be able to do and pull off.
Well, okay. So
right. And that's really what it is.
There's certain things that they can't control, though. Right. And just like we were talking right now about, the whole Dunbar story, Baker and Dunbar, that story leaking. I don't know if you heard the latest news that leaked, and it's been a big deal today. I think it kind of hit last night, and then today, this morning, it's just been blowing up all damn day. But King, you know the whole thing about Bountygate, right? Remember Bountygate?
The one in New Orleans.
Right.
Yeah, which
right.
I think was done by every team in the NFL, but go ahead.
Probably. Yeah, exactly.
No, not probably, but go ahead.
So now we got Envelope Gate. Did you hear about this one already?
No, man. What's that?
Wait. Are you telling me I know something you don't yet about NFL?
Envelope Gate, it has to do with the NFL?
Yeah. This is NFL, and you haven't heard this news yet. I'm just throwing it out there. Sweet Tea knows something before RW. Just saying.
Yeah, man, I guess you got me, bro. What is it?
Fuck, I'm going to alert the media. All right, so the Envelope Gate has to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Apparently, this was James Harrison, when James Harrison was playing, and he recently...
Oh, yeah, I love James Harrison.
Yeah, you got to love that way. I mean, the guy played...
Well, he played till he was like 50 or 60, you know what I mean? He fucking just kept going out there, and he played for the Bengals. Everywhere he played, he just was legit.
Right, but he played
anyway, go ahead.
Right, he played.
Yeah, he's a workout machine, dude. He was in the gym fucking before it even opened.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, he was just a physical beast. So apparently, he was on a like a podcast like ours, and he was talking to these guys, and he was just kind of started. Once you get these guys talking, right, they start just going, and they feel comfortable, and they start letting things fly. Right, they start letting a little bit behind the scenes and pulling back the curtain. He starts telling this story about, I don't know if you remember that hit that he put on Mohamed Massaquoi. Remember that big hit? Do you remember that was devastating against that Cleveland Browns wide receiver? Do you remember that? It was back in 2010. Yeah, Mohamed Massaquoi in 2010.
Okay.
And that was a huge hit. And that was a big deal back then, right? So apparently Mike Tomlin came up to him after the game in the locker room and handed him an envelope. Now, that's all he said. He didn't say what the envelope was for. So nobody knows exactly if that was a bounty. Nobody knows if that was for a big hit. Nobody knows if that was saying, look, you're going to get fined. I'm covering it right now. Right? Nobody knows. He left it at that. And so this shit has blown up all over sports media right now. Tomlin.
Yeah, because you're bored, Keith.
Well, yeah, of course, man. You're feeding them. Right? I mean, seriously, you're feeding the piranhas. So Tomlin's already...
Yeah, no, that's what it is. You're just throwing like one little fucking burger out there, and fucking these guys are going crazy for it. It's a feeding frenzy. You just got to get something.
It is. And these guys, you can't do that to these guys. They're fiending already, right? And Tomlin, he's already scoffed and said, whatever, right? It never happened. That's bullshit, right? And so has the Pittsburgh ownership. But I got to believe that there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, because like you said before, right? The Bounty Gate, a lot of teams did that. Every team did that to an extent, right? At some form or another. You going to tell me that in 2010, he wasn't doing that shit with his guys?
Dude, I'm going to say this. Since the annals of time, at all levels of football, that happens.
Right.
I'm just going to throw myself out in high school. In high school, we would get back to the school on the bus, and there'd be all the boosters and the parents of the guys, whatever, that are there at the school, whatever else. And we had a pretty big football program, and we were pretty good. And we all had to wear ties and shirts when we traveled. So if we traveled away, we came back with, everyone had a shirt with a pocket in it. And some guys who played good or knocked guys out of the games, they got that stuff in their pockets.
Yep. That's how it goes, right?
Exactly. At every level. So, I mean, I understand it's sort of like eye-opening to people like, oh my gosh, what did he do? That's big boy stuff up there, dude. You're not talking about a $20 bill or a $10 bill stuffed in your pocket or a $5. You're a high school kid. You know what I mean? You're not getting that, by 3 or 4 different guys. Hey, good game, man. Here's this for you. You know what I mean? Right? It's not that. It's big boy stuff up there. You guys have millions of dollars. Think of that. What are you going to do to give this guy an envelope to say good job? But my other point is this. They may say that was for that hit, but I doubt it. It was probably more for the fine because Massaquoi wasn't shit. Massaquoi was never a big-time guy.
Right. Now, I don't know.
So it wasn't like there'd be a bounty on that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I couldn't see that. Well, he's not a key player that you want out of that game.
And I wouldn't.
If you're going to put a bounty on somebody, you're going to put it on the main guy or the quarterback.
Right. And I don't think it would have been a bounty. If anything, if it wasn't for the fine, it would have been for a big hit, right? Just to get a huge hit. Because we know that they used to do that anyway, reward points like that for big hits, right? So it could be for that too, right? But I don't know if you remember this or not, but Harrison was initially fined $75,000 for that hit. And then after he appealed it and everything, they reduced it to 50, but the initial fine was $75,000 for that hit. I don't know if you remember.
Okay, so think about this realistically. When you say he handed me an envelope, if it was a manila envelope, like an 8.5 by 11, he would have stated that, right? So you're thinking regular envelope. The most you could put in there, maybe $20,000. 2 stacks.
Right.
Other than that, it just won't close. It won't function.
Yeah,
why even put it in that?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
But again,
so that,
clarify though. He didn't say what kind of envelope. He didn't say what was in it. He didn't give us anything like that.
But that's my point, is that he didn't have to clarify, right? You talk about knowing how people say things and what they say and what the normal person would do. So thinking of it logically, right? And that's what I'm trying to break down. So even if it was money like that, just for a big hit, 20 grand ain't shit to these guys. Their paycheck every week is probably, 400, 500 grand.
Right. 600
grand. You know what I mean? So 10 grand, man, thanks, bro. I'll buy my wife a dress,
Should get a new
right? I mean, really, yeah. You can't buy a car. You can buy a car. You know what I mean? You can't do shit like that. So
not for them, no.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, before a guy making 400 grand on the defensive line, you say you knock out Brett Favre and you're going to get fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 grand. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it was like 50 grand, I think. That's a nice little chunk, man. That's 10% of my whole year. I'm good there. I'm going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A guy like Harrison in that day, he was a defensive MVP. He was making good money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you just got to look at all those factors and it is what it is. Harrison's always in the middle of shit.
This is classic Harrison. I want to read you this quote real fast, Kay, because this is classic Harrison. He said, "Listen, on everything I love, on my daddy's grave, I hit the man with about 50% of what I had, and I just hit him because I wanted to hit him and let loose on the ball." Harrison said during the podcast, "If I had known that I was going to be fined $75,000, I would have tried to kill him." That's classic Harrison, right? I mean, that's just how he was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly
that's
how he
crazy.
was. So
that's the big thing right now. Again, to your point, that because there's nothing going on, these guys are going to do that. All of the sports media is just going to go buzzing because that's all there is right now. And he just kind of threw it out there. I think he kind of fed the Lions what they wanted, right?
Well, he gave them a little morsel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if he gave them what they wanted, but they're going to try to dig that thing up. And fucking Tomlin's probably shaking his head like, "You idiot. Why'd you do that to me?"
Probably called.
I got other shit.
Right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah.
Bro, really? You fucking doing me like that? Like he just got over this shit between, everything with last season and all that shit going on. I mean, seriously. And now he's got to deal with this during this off season.
No, I think we're going back to what we said. You always talked about how this guy, he was sort of the blame for AB and Le'Veon Bell allowing them to do their stuff. He got production out of those guys, and he got rid of them before they fucking crapped out. Look at Le'Veon Bell now. Look at Antonio Brown. Yeah. He got rid of them and had productivity till the end with those guys.
Yeah.
So, right? I mean, so you got to sort of give it to him, man. You know what I mean? Look at it in that perspective. No, he'll be all right from this. I don't think it'll be bad.
I don't think it's, the Rooney family is not going to do anything to him over this. This is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. If they didn't do anything over the Le'Veon Bell no, forget it. This is nothing. AB, no, this is nothing. Okay. I got to say something. I know it's not NFL, but I got to bring this up because we were talking about this during the last episode. And I know you don't like the MLB, but we did touch on the MLB last time. And I got to say, King, talk about people putting their foot in their mouth. Did you hear about what Bryce Harper did last night?
No, don't really follow baseball like that. I'm just sort of following, only thing I'm following in baseball is sort of if they're going to go, how they're going to go, what their plans are.
Right. And
other than that,
that's what this kind of follows, right? But it got buried a little bit because of the whole envelope gate shit. But this was kind of a big deal. So Bryce Harper was doing a live Twitch stream playing video games with Blake Snell, the pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays. And they were just kind of, they're just bullshitting, right? Talking, and they were talking about everything that's going on. Now, they, obviously the big issue right now about baseball is whether or not they're going to go because they're trying to work out the money, right? Obviously, we talked about this last time. The players don't want to give up on all that money that the owners are trying to say, well, there's no fans in the stands, so why should we pay you the full amount? And these guys are like, fuck you, pay me. We have a contract. I don't care, And you and I both agree they should get paid. And I don't disagree with what Bryce Harper's saying, but the optics, remember we always talk about optics. The optics look bad because he pretty much said, he came out and said, I don't care. I got to get mine. I'm not giving up that money. Now, remember, he's got a $300 million plus contract. And this guy is saying, fuck that. I'm not playing. I got to get mine. Now, I get it, right? Go get yours. Go do your thing. I'm all for that. But the optics look bad when you got so many fans and so many people watching this Twitch live stream that may be out of work, that may be trying to find work. It just kind of looks bad the way he said it. I don't disagree with the messaging of what he's trying to say. It's just the way he said it looks really shitty. I don't know. What do you think, King?
I mean, again, these guys are they are who they are. Once they get that, I guess, fame and those things like that, I mean, they don't care what they say. They don't care what other people think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, right? You're definitely knowing that these guys don't have a love for the game, T.
Right.
I mean, okay, I'm just throwing out who's the best player in baseball, Mike Trout. Yeah, he's having his kid. And he doesn't want to be away from his family if his wife's going to have a baby, especially in this time. But he's the main guy in the whole thing. And he's saying, I don't need to be there. I can sit out this year. These guys don't have any heart, T. And that's what it is.
Well,
there's not enough of those guys that are saying, you know what? I'm doing this for the love of the game to make this game go on.
So I forget who it was.
It's all about the money now.
No, I get it. But there's also a guy, I forget what player it was too. And he talked about that, right? Exactly what you're saying. He addressed that. And it was kind of cool the way he addressed it because you got to look at it from certain players' perspectives, right? He's saying, look, you got to understand, I'm a human being. I'm just a man. Yes, I'm privileged because I get to play a game for a living, but I'm putting my health and my body at risk and going into a situation where I can permanently damage my body because this thing could ravish my body and I'm not even going to get compensated. So if something happens to me, I'll be taken care of or my family will be taken care of. And so I understand his point too, right? if you're saying that you're not going to honor their contract, but you still want them to honor their side by playing, there's that too. You know what I mean? Because I fully on board with what you're saying. But then you got to look at the other side, at least from that perspective, and say, yeah, I mean, they're regular dudes too, right? You know?
Well, yeah, and I don't think I wasn't floating aside. I was just making a comment about certain people, and there's no heart in that game.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's what
again,
I said.
Yeah, and even I can even piggyback on your statement and say that too, because maybe back in the day these guys had cut their finger off to play, you know, and shit like that. There's people like that. My point is that what's bringing this game down? Is the guys that are playing, their heart's not in that game.
No.
And at some point, right, you'd have such a big voice from the players that they want to get out and play. And you're not hearing that.
Well,
and we talked about it last week. If Korea's finding a way to do it with all our resources, we should find a way to do it. But our guys won't make that sacrifice.
Well, here's the thing.
They are in Korea.
I'm going to take exactly what you said about the NFL just a little while ago and attribute it to this. They know the protocol. They know what has to happen. They're prepared. They're ready to go. Now it's just a matter of trying to fucking get these guys to agree to things for the money, to work out the money. Because during that live stream, the guy Blake Snell, the pitcher from Tampa Bay, as soon as Harper said that, he just yelled out, "What are you doing? Shut the hell up and let the Players Association speak." Like, he told him, "Shut the fuck up, dude. What are you doing?" You know what I mean?
Now,
that's again putting him in check.
No, I understand that, but I'll say this too: that's not going to be a problem for the NFL. They're not going to have a pay issue. I guarantee you that.
No, they're not. No, not at all.
And that, yeah, you know, and you reference that. I don't think they'll even have that issue.
No, I'm referencing the fact that the NFL has protocols in place to bring the players back and get them going. MLB has to have the same type of protocols in place. So there's nothing stopping them from going, just because I use that as a reference when you said the KBO. Right? They're already forging that ground. You know that the MLB, they have all those protocols in place to know how to go forward. It's just the money holding them up now. I wasn't saying the NFL is holding them up. No, I'm saying that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. 100% right. That's exactly what it is. It's not just the money, it's their players.
Right.
Okay. At some point. Yeah. I mean, you just got to go in there and say, okay, put the pressure on the player now. It's up to you, man. You don't want to go. You don't have to go. Whatever. But if you don't show up, you're not going to get paid if everybody else is going. And yeah, you're right. They're taking a risk. They can do that, T. But the percentage of that happening is so small. And that's the thing, right? Is we don't understand that and we're not grasping that because everybody has that mentality. If I get it, I could possibly die. You're right. But that chance is so small, you have a better chance of dying in a car accident and driving to work tomorrow.
But are guys willing to do that? We talked about that. Are guys really willing to do that?
That's the point. Guys aren't willing to do that because they're not looking at it that way. And our society isn't even looking at it that way. That's why we're having the battles within our society.
So think of it
right now in our communities.
Think of it this way. A lot of these guys are family guys, right? So there's got to be a lot of internal pressure from the household, from the family, to be able to stay safe for the family too, right? And they're probably saying no amount of money is worth risking your life, even if it's a small percentage, even there's this small possibility, it doesn't matter. So you got to think of that too, right? And I don't,
or do they just feel maybe like they're more privileged and don't have to do that?
Well, there's that too. Right. And I think there's both of those factors going on and not for every guy.
I'm financially okay. My family's financially okay. I'm not going to expose myself to that risk at all.
I don't need to.
Because you know what? Yeah, you said that about small children and a family they have to take care of. But what about that essential worker that's going out in the public having to deal with that every day?
That's what I'm telling you.
Getting exposed every day. There's no more difference, right?
Exactly.
So these guys got to put that into perspective.
But that's what I'm
Those guys are going to be taking at a greater risk than that. Right. Because they're going to be in a more controlled environment.
But that's what I was saying. The optics, even of what Bryce Harper said,
here's the worst kicker.
Really shitty.
And I'm going to tell you something about baseball sweet tea that you didn't know.
Ooh, I like that. All right.
So here's the other big problem in starting up. And you didn't mention it, so don't come off and tell me you knew about this, because I think you would have popped off.
I already knew.
They're saying that probably to complete the season, they're estimating that they would have to use and conduct approximately 65,000 coronavirus tests, because the way they want to stagger them out and keep doing them to make sure these guys are okay.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Yeah. Now, I had not heard that, but I don't doubt it at all. Yeah.
That's their number. So that's that's their number, because they're not going to test them if they don't have to. They're going to stagger the guys, like random testing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So they have a plan, and they know the people they have. The number is there, right? They've counted the people. So they know the employees in that Major League Baseball and what it's going to take, and everyone has the same plan. You have to adhere to the same plan. So they're saying roughly 65,000. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's not going to be much different. That's a lot of fucking tests when the state is only doing 2,500 a day.
Right.
Right. I mean,
but that was my point a couple episodes ago, that we don't have enough tests to go around to be able to kick this thing open to do it the right way. Now, if we do have those tests available, there's going to be a lot of animosity that it's going towards sports instead of the general public too.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about,
and we talked about that backlash. Okay, so if you're thinking about that with baseball, because just think of the pure number of people in the organization, all the teams, all the things like that. That's a much higher number than even, say, basketball right now.
Correct.
Basketball is going to get cracking here pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really are. They're going to finish their season. It's going to be a fucked up season, but they're going to finish it and get on with it and move to next year. And they said they're going to probably start in December of next year.
Okay.
So
have you, not to get us off track or anything, but I'm going to, you mentioned basketball and it being a fucked up finishing to the season. Have you heard that crazy notion of they could possibly do like an NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it.
Did you? I don't remember. That's why I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah, they want to put everybody in there, seed them 1 to 32.
Right.
Basically.
One and done.
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I mean, to me, first thing is that was never proposed by the NBA.
Yeah,
it was proposed by two journalists. Yeah, two journalists in the beginning who, are NBA guys or whatever.
Well, there you go.
And
right?
But you think about stuff like that, and fuck it, it gives hope to even the cities everyone's hurting right now. So think who's the worst team? Atlanta, right? So it gives hope to Atlanta Hawks. Hey, you might have a run and win 5 games, 6 games in a row and be the champ, right? When would that happen again?
Never.
In the next 10 years, right?
Yeah, another 100 years from now.
Right. So that's my point. And it's like, at least it gives everybody that hope. I could see that positive to it. But other than that, man, it's just a little too screwy for me, man. I'd be a little pissed off.
But then that just leads into exactly the point that Shaq and Barkley were making the other day when they were saying that it's going to just have an asterisk. This championship will have an asterisk against it.
It's going to anyway because they didn't finish the season.
Right.
And in reality, no matter who wins, there's going to be somebody who's going to say we should have beat them, but we didn't have the opportunity because of the way the season played out or whatever. It's going to happen.
Yeah, no matter what.
So this is an asterisk season no matter what. Same with baseball. What are you going to do? How do you even look at this, say, for arbitration? You're just going to exponentially expand the number?
I think that's the only way
it's hard to do it. Well, yeah, but in baseball, bro, think about it.
But they have all those analytics.
No. Right, but okay, let me finish there, big guy. In baseball, more than any other sport, because of the length, there are more times when guys go into tailspins and they crap out for 10, 12 games. And guys get on hitting streaks for 10 or 12 games. You can't predict those things. So if this guy puts up solid numbers for half a year, he could have had a shit other half a year, and then it came out to an average year. They would have paid him X amount. But because now you're going to expand on an awesome half a year, this dude's going to rake it. Or he just couldn't get going. It's a fucked up season. You know, are you going to use that against him?
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's tough, dude.
You know they will.
You know,
you already know that. That's a rhetorical question because you know that they will do that shit.
Yeah, it's the MLB. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to bend them over any way they can. So you know they're going to do that. Now, if the guy has a great year and he comes back and he says it, well, you know, and they're going to try to do one of those. It was a shortened year. It was different. I don't know. You know, so yeah, you know, they're going to try to make that argument no matter what against the guy, no matter what. You know, and
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And that's that shit, you know. But dude, I mean, that's really all there is in sports right now, is just trying to figure out how these guys are going to open. Now, I will say this weekend also, Germany's soccer league opens up this weekend, Bundesliga. So that's another big step because they're going to be playing this weekend without any fans also. So they had a little bit of issue and a hiccup when they started. A couple of their guys tested positive on a team, but nobody else has tested. They're going forward. So it's been like 7 or 8 days or something, and they're testing these guys like maniacs. You know what I mean? But
okay. Wait. Yeah. Quick side note: did you happen to see the picture of like an outdoor restaurant in Germany that was giving all of the patrons a special COVID hat to wear? This thing's classic. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. So it's a hat, but you know those what they call the water weenies, those big foam long, like 6 foot things that you take into the pools, right? Okay. They have those things. They put this hat and they have like like 3 of those things popping off of the hat, like in going out in almost like a triangle, right? Going outwards so that it's social distancing. So you're away from people when you're dining. You have to stay that way. It's fucking classic, dude. And the people are wearing it.
There you go.
You gotta Google that picture. It's hilarious. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in when you mentioned Germany.
All right, German from German.
Herman
okay.
From German?
I'm German from German. All right, anyways, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, things are opening up, dude. I think you're right. I think that the issue with basketball is not if they're going to, it's when they're going to, and they have to get their guys back in shape and make sure all the states are the same, and they're just waiting for that. They're ready to go. Baseball doesn't seem like they're ready to go because, like you said, the guys just aren't on board.
They're a mess.
You know, football's just sitting around waiting to see what they have to do to adjust, and they're going to go forward.
But they're a mess too, but in a different way.
No, the organization isn't a mess. The employees are a mess.
That's
dude.
what I'm saying. In a different way.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
in a different way right now because they want to get back because they got to get these guys out of trouble situations. You know,
they got to get these guys hitting somebody, dude. It's like we always talked about. Imagine Mike Tyson if he was never a boxer. Imagine that dude on crack with a machine gun back in the day, dude.
Fuck! I'm so glad you mentioned him. Oh my god, it's like a light bulb went off. Did you see Mike Tyson? Did you see him? He's making a comeback because he's going to do a charity fight. Did you see him?
Who, him and Holyfield?
No, he was doing, you know, like what do they call those things where the guys are?
He's gonna do a fight with Holyfield now, dude, because of that.
Is it with?
Yes. So this whole thing started about a week or so ago because he posted something on his Instagram or some bullshit.
Did you see that?
And they saw his hand speed.
Holy
He came out right after that and said, dude, I'm never going to do that again. He says, I haven't done that in 10 years. He says, it felt good. He says, but I don't want to do this shit no more. He goes, I don't want to, because they said, hey, man, you should be training. He's like, I don't fucking train, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I smoke weed. So the pressure's on him, and somebody probably offered him a lot of money.
It's for charity. It's all strictly going to charity. So he's going to do a 3-round exhibition for charity. But they're not going to try to hurt each other, dude. They can't. They're old guys. Holy fuck. Yeah, they're boys now, but I mean,
dude, yeah, fuck all that, dude. I saw The Hangover the other day. I just watched it. Remember when he clipped him?
Yeah. No, wait,
dude, he's still Mike Tyson.
He's still Mike Tyson, dude. He was just in the Eminem video, right? I don't know if you saw that Godzilla video off of Eminem's new album, dude.
No.
has M, and he's walking through this parking lot looking over his shoulders because people are walking behind him, coming after him. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this dude just comes and clips him, right? Bam, knocks him down. And M's on the ground going, oh, fuck. And then he opens his eyes and he goes, Mike? And then you see Mike Tyson go, oh, shit, it's you. Oh, shit, I didn't mean it was you. Oh, my God. It was fucking hilarious. It's fucking awesome. It's Mike, dude. That guy, because of that hand speed, right now he could still do a lot of damage, I think. At, what is he, 55, 53, something like that? Right?
What kind of damage, dude?
No, I think.
I mean, he get hit. Yeah, but okay. Here's the thing: he misses you, and he's got to chase you. He's done.
There's that too. Okay.
Dude. So yeah, the guy. What we talked about this on a couple of us. He boasted he smokes how much thousands of dollars of weed a week or something.
I think it was like 25,000 or.
Okay, dude. Yeah, he's got one shot in him. He's got 10 seconds of hand speed in him, but that's it, dog. I just got to outlast that.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you this real fast.
He's less than Butterbean, dog. He's worse than Butterbean right now, dude. Go ahead.
Hey, but Butterbean got to knock out Johnny Knoxville.
Look, no, you're right because he told him to and let him cock him, dog.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like in the movie Hangover, dude. Like the dude wasn't expecting it. He got cocked, dog. They were singing a song,
that
dude.
Was perfect too.
Right?
Okay, let me ask you.
So you're not even thinking that. Of course he's going to knock him out, dude. Of course.
Let me ask
I got a good shot if I do that, dog. You know what I mean?
All right. So Iron Mike in his prime, but as an MMA guy of today, do you think he...
No. Only because he wasn't made up like that. Remember, I mean, Mike, even when he was younger, he would follow boxing. So he was never really like a wrestler in school and things like that. So you got to always think of that. That's the background those guys need. The other stuff they could figure out. Right. You know what I mean? The guys who go up and they're just stand-up guys and they get taken on the ground and get fucked up, they don't last long in that shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
yeah. No,
I think he still would have been. He would have been the heavyweight champ no matter what.
Okay, but what if Mike grew up in today's era? And that you remember that badass, that just incredible. You take what you know about him when he was in his prime, as far as that explosiveness and that grit, right? And you apply that.
Okay, so put a caveat on it instead of into today's thing. Just throw the caveat on there that Mike was in love with wrestling instead of boxing,
right?
And in this day and age, because that would have been his only avenue.
Right.
Because if he was that talented physically and what he can do, right, then you figured in wrestling he'd probably be pretty fucking good. So if he's a top tier guy, his only avenue out is what? MMA. Right? So, yeah, it would be natural for him to go into there. And yeah, you're sure. Imagine when they get this guy in the gym and he starts knocking dudes out.
That's what I'm saying.
Just knocking them out cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So they probably didn't discover it until after they started training him in MMA, if we put that caveat on there.
I mean, I could just, just think about that for a second and let that sink in. I mean, just his pure punching power. Fuck. How devastating that would have been. That's just crazy.
No, I agree. You know, it's hard even for me to think of him as that, though. You know what I mean?
True. But it's definitely a fantasy what if, but I'm just thinking, just think about how powerful his punches were. And if he were to be an MMA fighter, because we were talking about how Conor McGregor transitioned in that fight against Mayweather. But think about if he was Iron Mike was really an MMA guy, dude, that's devastating.
See, I don't think there's a good transition either way there, right? Think about it, T. If you're an MMA guy and you go to be a boxer, you're not going to have much success. It's going to be hard. You got to fight a cupcake to fucking knock them out because the guys are pretty skilled. They've been doing, if they're pros, they've been doing that probably most of their lives. Right? So even the bad ones are pretty good. So thinking that, right, that the MMA guy would have to fight that guy and can't kick him, can't fucking knock him down, can't fucking get him on top of the ground and elbow him. You know what I mean? Can't do any of that shit. Right? Yeah, it's going to be tough for an MMA fighter to be a boxer.
Right.
Think of the other way. It'd be tough for a boxer to go down and fucking deal with these guys from the MMA. First of all, their hands are used to being taped so much. They're protected.
True.
So now you take that away and you make a minimal tape on there with a glove like that. It's basically your knuckle. They're not seasoned like that. They'll probably break their hands so fast. Yeah. So they just there's a no transition either way. You start thinking about it. I never really thought of it. And they're both combat sports, right? But they just don't transition well.
Yeah, because it's a different type of training completely. It's a different,
you get you have to do a whole different type of body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So, all right. Well, that was a lot of sports, but you know what? We went off on a couple tangents, but that's a lot of cool shit. To be honest with you, for there, not being any sports going on right now, King, I thought we covered a lot actually. There's still a lot popping.
Well, there's no sports going on, dude. But hey, you know what? There's always fucking Netflix, dude. What have you been watching on Netflix, bro?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, man. There's still tons of entertainment out there, right? So I haven't been watching a lot of Netflix, but I've been catching up on all of the Last Dance Jordan documentary, and so I've been binging it. And I got 2 more episodes to catch up. And other than that, I'm fully caught up. And I got to say, man, this is some crazy shit. It hurt me. It hurt me.
You got to do yourself a favor and watch this shit real time. Catch those 2 episodes up tomorrow and watch the closing episodes on Sunday, bro.
There's going to be...
Because then that's when all the discussions are.
Okay, but there's going to be another special episode that comes out too after that. I heard that they're going to do.
All right, but the last episode is 10.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a recap episode or something they're going to have.
Yeah, I think Shaq is going to be doing that one or somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like a recap of everything.
Right.
But 10 is the last one, and that's this Sunday. So get it all done and do the real time stuff.
Okay, for sure.
You know what I mean? It makes a difference because right after that they have like ESPN, and they have all these guys on there talking about it. It's sort of cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out then. Yeah, do that real time. So what about you, King? What the hell have you been watching? I know that you're watching something. I know you.
Well, yeah, I have to, T. There's no sports, dude.
Exactly.
I'm fucking set up for Bundesliga at fucking 5 a.m. tomorrow, dude. Dude, I was watching fucking KBO, but I fucking was hating life at work, dude. Those games were coming on at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, And I was laying there in bed, like cockeyed, watching it. Just I want to suck in some sports, dude. I'm like, I'm like a blade of grass that needs some sun, dude. I'm just trying to suck up as much as I can, dude. I was just too much of a zombie at work, so I had backed off the KBO, and then I got a taste of some UFC, man. But I just gotta watch movies that keep me occupied, dude.
So what are you watching?
So. Well, I'm going to give a shout out, dude. All right. I fucking watched this movie the other day. And it's, shout out to the sports guys in our area, dude. I still love them. I listen to them on my ride home, my ride into work. And they're filling the time, man. They got some sports to talk about. But a lot of times it's just about other stuff. What are you doing? Same as us. And one of the guys talked about, I'm just going to, pub him. He got it. It was on the Mason and Ireland show. Shout out to that show. I love that show.
Right.
I listen to those guys.
It's a good show.
Mason was talking about some shows that were going to be getting pulled off of Netflix soon. And he said, you got to watch them. And I was like, okay, what was the show? You come back after the commercial, I'll tell you. Kind of thing. I'm driving, so yeah, of course I'm going to hear it.
So you're hooked.
But it was well, no, it was, yeah. Well, yeah, I want to hear what the movie is.
You're hooked right there going, I gotta wait. I can't change the channel.
Yeah, because I want to watch something that's good.
Right.
So if this guy's saying he's sports oriented, you know what I mean? And even though he's publicly gay and everything else, he's still a sports host. So, I'm thinking, okay, he's got to be decent, right? Yeah, but the movie is called Limitless. Have you heard of that movie, T?
You know what? I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. So I don't really know about it.
It's with that guy, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, the guy, it's the Hangover dude, whatever, Star is Born. But yeah, he's the main guy in it. Al Pacino's in it. And it's a story, and it's Bradley Cooper. He's like a nothing writer, a loser, just a typical loser, alcoholic. His girlfriend just left him because she's tired of him being a deadbeat. His apartment's a mess. He's just nothing. And he meets up a friend on the street one day. And the guy's like, hey, dude, what's up, man? You look like shit. And the dude's all dressed to the nines, looks really hot, tight. You know what I mean? And he's like, what's going on, man? And he tells him, hey, you only use 20% of your brain. I'm going to give you a pill. It's going to make you use 100%. There's going to be nothing in this world you can't do. And he gives him this pill. And he's going to continue all this as long as he takes that pill every day.
One pill.
And it's a good, yeah. And I mean, his mind is just so open. He's just making money hand over fist with investments, with calculating investments and what's going to happen and things like that. It's just his mind's working completely different than anybody else. He's seeing things ahead of time. So yeah, it's a crazy movie.
That just sounds crazy.
It really is. So, I mean, I watched that. I watched some other stuff, you know what I mean? But, and one of the things that I'm doing, because I'm just bored as fuck, dude, is I sort of take some of these movies that I watch, right?
Yeah.
And I sort of put myself into a little twist on the scenario. So I'm going to give you a little twist on that limitless scenario, T, that I've been pondering around for like the last week. And I've come up with a lot of different answers. But I'm going to throw something at you, dude. All right?
Your brain working at 10%, you came up with this?
Well, no, dude. I mean, my brain's probably working at about, I'm going to be generous and say 6%.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just because if you start with a healthy brain at 20%, dude, I mean, when I was younger, let's be honest, dude, I did a lot of drugs. Right? I mean, why do you keep going to that's my frontal lobe, dude. That doesn't have to do with what's left over there in my thinkingology, all right, dude?
Okay.
So, yeah, okay, but I'm just saying, right? So, I mean, remember, I grew up in the 80s, dude. Heavy metal, LSD, acid. There was a lot of that.
Right.
So it had to kill some brain cells, dude.
Obviously.
Plus, I probably smoked like a farm of weed from 1982 to 1988. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not talking about...
You're close to Mike Tyson.
Oh, come on, dude. All right. I was even going to throw a comparison to Mike Tyson and he slapped me down before I couldn't even say it. So, but you know what I'm saying? So, okay. So here's the question, Keith.
All right.
If there was a pill that you could take and you would be on a 10-year run, you would make more money than you've ever made in your life, more money than anybody in the world. You'd be more popular than anybody in the world. You'd have any woman. You'd have any fame. You'd be able to do anything you wanted to do in this world for 10 years exactly. And on that 10-year anniversary date that you took that pill, after all those good things happen, you die. Would you take that pill?
You know what? Okay, so 10 years on the dot, right? That's it?
Exactly.
Done.
The front to the time, to the second.
To the second that you first took that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like for me, I would do it like 2 a.m. so that I'd know I'd be asleep. Because I'm going to do it, dog.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I started all this hemming and hawing and, I could do so much more. And
that's
you know
what
what?
I'm
Fuck
saying.
all that, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know because obviously, I'm a family man. So that kind of fucks with you, right? And
well, okay, that's the obvious, right? Okay, so doesn't it really? I mean, sort of dependent on sort of all your factors, right? But I thought of it like this and broke it down real easy, regardless of age. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, man.
None of us are.
Correct. I mean, unless we're basically just sitting in our house, where you don't know, you could have a freaking aneurysm or something. Nobody knows.
Correct. You're right.
Right?
You're right.
Okay, and the other caveat, and I didn't even spell it out, was in that 10 years, you couldn't die. Nothing was going to happen to you. You'd be completely healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No matter what happens.
So you wouldn't. You'd know that.
Yeah, you would be working. Your brains would be working on such a higher level that you would be able to anticipate it.
Not even that. You just wouldn't get any illness or nothing for 10 years.
Right.
You're on a good run. Okay. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even get a cold, man.
You know what?
You'd be immune to every coronavirus. You know what I mean?
At that point, yeah, I'd probably do it because I don't know. I mean, think about it, right? If you're making money, hand over fist, things like that. Yeah, it sucks. I'm going to miss my family, but I could set them up, right?
Right.
I could set them
That's
up
just my thought.
and have everything kind of in motion for them. So they're
That's
good.
exactly my thought. You know what I mean? And right. So the real key factor is when you think about it that way. What are you thinking first? Family and kids?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking, fuck, I might not be here in a month? Who knows?
Who knows, right?
Yes. I'm guaranteed 10 solid years of giving them everything they could ever imagine.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Right?
Just
so you think about things like that.
Yeah.
And so you think about things like that. And that's how fucked up it is right now, T. That I'm thinking about stupid shit like that. And I hear parts like that on the radio and I sort of put this mishmash all together. And then that'll keep me occupied when I'm bored of watching shit on TV. I'll turn the TV off and just think about that for about a half hour, 40 minutes. Okay, now I can turn the TV. Well, no, maybe like about 10 or 11. And then, okay, let me turn the TV back on so I can go to sleep.
Right.
Only because Max likes to watch TV in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know, I got a roommate, man, my baby.
I don't
know, so he watches TV.
I think he's the one with the roommate.
I agree with that statement.
Come on, man.
I resemble that remark.
You do. Yes, you do.
I do. I'm
glad you own it. I'm glad you own that.
I do.
Cool.
No, but yeah, no, it's his world. I'm just a guest. You know what I mean?
Just a guest in it. That's all it is.
Yeah, dude. Trust me, I know better than anybody, dude. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, but yeah, I mean, other than that, dude, I just been watching. Oh, I do got something else that was pretty good, dude.
What's that?
Trial by Media.
The hell is that?
It's a show on Netflix. Again, dude, they got 6 million fucking shows. I'm going through everything, dude. I'll spend a half hour just browsing, bro, because I want to see what they got. There's stuff out there, obscure stuff that hasn't been played in years, dude.
You're probably going to tap their entire catalog at some point.
I'm probably looking at it at some point. I've probably seen a million fucking movies. Seen them, not clicked on them to see what they were, watch a trailer. But I watch a lot of trailers. That's what's cool with Netflix, too. They got a little 2 or 3 minute trailer, and if it doesn't grab me, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, you're moving on.
But this was a season, and I think basically what it was they were mirroring big cases that were followed by Court TV when it first came out. And how Court TV, the actual channel, which is still around, and they publicize and they show and they televise court cases that are allowed by the prosecutor and the defense and the jurisdiction. And they showed some high profile ones where they sort of felt that it got twisted by the way the media coverage was.
So it had a big effect on the trial.
Do you remember back in the day, dude? You were young as fuck. It was me. I was probably a teenager. But when all this fucking Avalanche TV came out, you know, the Jerry Springer, the Maury Povich, Jenny Jones. Do you remember Sally Jesse Raphael?
I do, with the red glasses. Wasn't that her? She had the red glasses?
Oh, was that her or was? Oh, then her. Jenny Jones was the other white
Jenny
lady
Jones too. Yeah,
was a white lady.
Yeah,
then it was about Jenny Jones. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So they all started their formats as regular talk shows.
Correct.
But when they realized they didn't get ratings, they went to that Avalanche TV shit. So on the Jenny Jones show, she brought a guy and a girl on who were friends, who brought another friend of theirs on, a guy. And one of them was going to reveal their crush on them. And it ended up being the guy. He revealed his crush on the dude on public TV, like blindsided him with it.
Right. Don't tell me.
2 days later, after the taping, the guy shot and killed that dude.
Oh, that's fucked.
So, and they showed the whole trial on TV and how sort of the trial sort of spun that thing.
Because his masculinity was challenged and he felt embarrassed.
You know, then the second one that they showed was the subway vigilante, the Bernard Goetz thing.
I remember that one, yeah.
How that thing, the media got a hold of that and started disgrading this guy and what he was doing and how he was. And he was like mental a little bit, dude. You know, he was like a shut-in. He was just really weird. And the media put that out there. And there was one more that I'm going to mention before the Whopper. And the other one that I really liked, there was 8 episodes of the season, and I watched 4 of them. And the third one was about a young man who came from East Africa, I believe, or something like that, to come to school in the Bronx in New York. He was going to NYU or one of the schools out here. Got shot 41 times by the New York Police Department. He was unarmed. They shot 41 bullets at him. He got hit 19 times, and they killed him.
I think I remember that.
And they show how that trial sort of went ape shit.
Holy
and it was
shit.
really close to all these racial things and stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
So those were 3 very good episodes, but the whopper was one called Dan's Bar. And it fucked with me, T. And it's just, let's be honest, T. We were raised by women. We have a different spot in our heart for women. We don't believe in any other bullshit of treating women bad. Women are, they carry every seed, and the reason that we're on this earth is because of women.
Right.
Right. And this was a story about a woman in Massachusetts, like a whaling town or something like that, who was in a bar and walked out to leave and got pulled from behind and was raped by 6 guys in a bar on a pool table in front of a whole bunch of people who were cheering and shit.
Didn't they make a movie out of that?
Possibly.
I think they did.
And this episode was called Dan's Bar. And the big thing in that one, bro, was, and you're just feeling bad, right? I mean, okay, whatever reason, dude. And, these guys were saying, she wanted it. She was blowing one dude already. Whatever it was, they didn't have the right to humiliate her like that.
No.
Okay, whatever she decided to do at that moment with one guy wasn't 6 guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's no justification to what they said.
No, none.
And that's in my opinion. But the thing that fucked this whole thing up, dude, was this lady she grew up in that town. That's where she lived. It was a small town. The people that did it were Portuguese immigrants who hadn't lived in that town that long. And they worked on the boats and stuff. You know what I mean? And there was a real racial divide there between the Portuguese population, which was pretty prominent in that town.
Right.
And the people that, basically founded that town, those type of folks. And everyone knew the girl, everyone knew what was going on, but didn't really know what was going on because she didn't make it public. During the trial, her prosecutor was the one who sort of allowed, or she was the prosecutor, her prosecuting attorney was her private attorney, allowed the courts to come in with one stipulation that they never showed her face. Because they didn't want her to be, her identity to be shown.
Right.
In court, they ask you to say and spell your full name.
Oh, come on.
They didn't bleep that out.
Come on.
Yes, dude. So every media outlet had her name, had her address, where she went to high school, all those questions they asked her. So everyone knew after that day who she was. And she was pariah at that point.
Oh, she had a scarlet A.
Yeah. So it was just fucked the way this whole thing played out. And these guys got prosecuted, and they got busted. 4 of them got busted for aggravated rape, and they got convicted, which was great.
Yeah.
The 2 that didn't do anything, that were supposedly the cheerleaders, were found not guilty. I think they should have been guilty for not even trying to stop them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? By allowing it, they should have got something.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that's what happened. But then after that, dude, it's a tragedy. The girl just ended up moving away, became an alcoholic, drug abuser, whatever else. And she was drinking, using drugs, and crashed her car into something. They don't know if on purpose or what, but in the middle of a tree, and killed herself.
What a waste of a life that didn't have to.
She had a daughter. She had a young daughter.
It's horrible.
And that's what she said in the beginning when the police told her, "Are you sure you want to, do this? Because it's going to be pretty messy." She says, "I want to do this so that this doesn't happen to my daughter."
That's awful.
So things like this don't happen to my daughter.
Damn.
And that was touching, dude. I was just like, damn, you know what I mean? So there's little jewels out there on Netflix, dude. You just got to take the time to find it.
Yeah, no kidding. I gotta look for that one. Trial by Media? That's what
Trial by Media, dude. Yeah, and there's like 4 good ones. The other ones were about politicians and stuff like that, and I'm really not into that, so I really didn't gravitate to those episodes.
Right.
But I watched 4 out of the 8, and those 4 were pretty good to me, and I recommend them. You know, I probably won't go back and even watch the other 4. Maybe I will if I'm bored as hell.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is.
But
that's really what I've been doing. Dude. I'm just surfing Netflix, bro. Even my cable's getting old because I'm fucking. And I still got to say that they're doing a great job because they're putting stuff on that hasn't been in the rotation for a long time. Old movies.
I think they kind of
just not. To. Well, you do because so many people are at home watching this stuff all day.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, it's just like fuck. That's too much. You know what I mean? And some of them just don't appeal to me. And the type of movies are more family movies, and you know, plus the old stuff. There's just not enough skin and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, there's that too, right?
I mean, think about it. Back in the day, the Total Recall with Arnold, it was sort of sexy. Remember, they had that bar scene with all those hookers in there, the chick with the 3 tits and all that stuff, right?
Tits. That's funny.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I was in high school when that thing came out, dude. I was fucking rubbing myself out to that thing a few times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that do it now? No way.
Not even close.
Not even close, dude. I don't even get a whiff of some kind of chubby down there. You know what I mean?
Like, so, yeah, whatever. Dude. There's nothing.
Yeah, dude. That little midget in the corset used to give me a boner, dude. You never even saw it growing that corset. Even if it was a midget, I was getting a boner.
A slight breeze did it for you, though. Come on. So there's that.
Well, it does it to everybody when they're that age, dude.
Exactly.
Every normal guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just different when you get older.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're just like, fuck, all right, whatever, really. And I always think that too, like, fuck, I got a boner to that? Like, fuck, okay.
So what the fuck was I thinking?
No, I remember stuff I used to spunk my monkey to, dude. And I think, man, I used to get off on that. It's just a different time, dude.
Just different time, different era, different everything, man.
I think with that, right, I mean, there's not much else, but, dude, okay, now we promised we were going to have a little bit of a fucking talk, and we're going to make sure, because he doesn't want us to mention him because he's not really doing much for us right now. But, dude, aren't you missing Dr. X?
I am.
I know he said not to even say his name, dude, and not to bring him up. He didn't want to do anything. But, dude, I mean, where is that dude? We need to get him involved. D, how can we do that?
Well, I don't know.
It's so hard right now.
Yeah, we got to figure something out because, I've been texting him. We go back and forth and everything. But, I just kind of miss the banter and the abuse back and forth between you guys. You started going off on him. I just miss that.
Between me and him?
Yeah, man.
I thought dude, when you first introduced me to him, I thought you were going to marry him the way you guys were fighting. I was like, okay. All right, man. What's going on here?
And now it's you guys more than me. It's the script has completely flipped.
I think you're deflecting a little, bro, but that's okay, man. Either way, man, I miss the guy.
I think we both.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Well, yeah, because fuck, dude, he would have popped off a couple more little fucking tidbits for us to talk about.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, this guy fucking pulls shit out of his ass all over the place. Dude.
Not all.
Some of the stuff's a little bit funky, you know what I mean? But still, I mean, he does some good stuff sometimes. So,
but you got.
I'm missing Dr. X. Shout out to Dr. X, dude. Hey, we miss you. We love you. We're gonna get back on track in a few weeks. Yeah. When everything opens up to you, are you still gonna be like a vagina and not want to get together, or? Because you know how the MLB has to hold up with their guys? I thought like you're the hold up on our end, dude.
Really?
The studio's open.
Really? The studio is it with a big caveat the way the studio is. So the studio is set up. No, they told. Didn't you read the email that they sent out to us on how the studio setup has to be now? I mean, it's not like how it was before. So that's what I'm saying. Like don't think we're going to be in, right next to each other like before. That's what I'm saying. Like they had to make.
We
a lot
weren't
of
right next to each other. We had at least 4 or 5 feet between us.
Right, but even
as long as you're not hawking loogies at me, dog, I'm good.
Yeah, but when you start spitballing, it just goes everywhere. I'm gonna have to ask him to put one of those little, glass shields like a hockey rink.
Look, you know what? Here's the bottom line, right? You're gonna have to be like that dude in the movie, the boy in the plastic bubble, bro. The rest of your life, you're just not gonna be able to function, dude. You're
That's
probably like
okay.
jittery when you go outside and shit right now, huh?
There's a little anxiety.
Yeah, still. Okay.
Yeah, there's a
I
little
mean, I had that
anxiety.
too in the beginning, in the first couple of weeks.
Not gonna lie,
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I mean, but yeah, boy in the plastic bubble.
Let me
Dude,
just-
remember he had
okay.
that portable one that looked like an astronaut?
Yeah, that thing was bitching.
Just get that thing, dude.
I'm just gonna let me just throw this out there, right? So the wife doesn't even like going shopping with me. All I do is I drive. I'll drive and I'll stay in the car, and she goes to the grocery and does the grocery shopping, and then she comes back and I help load the car, and then we take off. But she doesn't like it if I've tried to go in with her to kind of show like that support. Look, I'm here with you. I'm doing this with you. We're in this together. And I guess apparently I cause her anxiety when we're there because she sees how I am, and I'm trying my best. But she says, "Look, I appreciate that, but you just stay in the car so I could just get shit done." So I mean, take it.
Well, what's that saying, dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So take it
yeah.
for what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm doing my best. I'm trying, man. At least I'm trying, right? I'm trying. That's all I could do.
Hypnotism, dude. Try it.
I might have
Like
to.
read it. Yeah, maybe something.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah,
like no joke. I may have to. I legitimately may have to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Dr. X the other day, dude, and he told me he talked to you too the other day, and he said that, yeah, there's some things that have to be done in the studio, but it isn't like we're not already doing it. He said there's a lot of guys who do shows and have 4 or 5 people in there in their crew, 4 or 5 people in the box. He has to disinfect the box when he leaves. He has to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on there. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll get back to normal.
Yeah, and we can stop sounding like we're in a tin can on my end, dude.
Wouldn't that be great?
I'm sick of this shit. Yeah, I'm
Wouldn't
fucking
that be
sick of
great?
it.
So, all right.
Thanks to everybody for putting up with us. We know you got a lot of choices out there, man. You guys are you're hanging in there. Thanks for supporting Big A's episode. He's loving even though, like you said, he's not acknowledging it. It has to make him feel good.
No, he said
that's
it
all we're
does
trying
feel
to
good.
do.
He does. He says it feels good, but he doesn't know how to kind of take it all in because to him, he doesn't grasp it.
Right. So, what, guys, thanks a lot for everything, and thanks for everybody for the support as always. We got to start kicking back up our sponsors a little bit. They're still on us, and they've been hanging in there with us. They know what's going on. So they've been communicating with us and everything's good. So, we'll get those guys back on track. Omar, the taco guy, he can't do any parties right now, but I talked to him too. So, things are still moving forward, guys. And it's just about staying disciplined, right, T?
Right. Exactly. And to be quite honest with you, King, I'm kind of missing Omar's, not his tacos, but the damn burritos that he makes are just insane. So tell him that as soon as this starts getting back to normal, he's got to make us some. He'll have to come to the studio and bring us some because like you said, our sponsors are hanging in there. It's not just Omar. We got, Hopsy and Manscaped and everything. And, they're companies and they have staffs and they have everything. And come on, who doesn't have to Manscape right now, right? And who doesn't enjoy beer? I know I've been enjoying the Hopsy. I don't know about you, King, but I've been enjoying that Hopsy.
I told you I had some adult beverages before the show, man. So excuse me, folks, if I was slurring or doing anything else. I'm feeling all right now, man. Actually, I think
it's the Hopsy.
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm thinking, you know what, man? What is it about? It's not too late over here, man. I'm going to be a late night barbecue tonight, man.
There you go.
Yeah, you got me some really good burgers. I'm going to throw one of them on the grill right now and just have another adult beverage and just relax.
That's how you do
me
it,
and
right?
my boy over here, Max. I'll share my burger with him. He'll be happy.
See, and that's what you got to do. That's what it's all about.
That's what it is, man.
That's what it is. So
I think with that, man, we're going to wrap it up. Go ahead and close out your end. I'll close out my end.
So I'd like to say thank you to all the first responders. I'd like to say thank you to all the frontline workers, all the essential workers, even though you guys are more like sacrificial workers or that's how you feel. But you know what? You guys matter. You guys matter more than anybody. And we want to thank you for that and stay strong.
That's it. It's about staying strong, guys. And you know what? I agree with T, and we just thanking everybody, and things are going to start opening up, folks, and just understand, man, it's a step by step. Let's not get crazy and let's not mess this thing up. We made good progress and let's just keep going forward and get rid of this thing.
We're almost there.
So I agree, man. And with that, man, I think we'll go ahead and close out T.
So for the Double I crew, I'm Sweet T.
And I'm RW King.
And we are
out.
Checking in from the left coast where we take sound that combines sunshine with rhyme, move 'em around. Take it slow, watch the smoke we blow. Bring California swing and this thing for show. But hey there,